realize that there's so many people, colleagues, in-laws, people all over the place, that if something crazy happened to me, like I got pulled over, like violated and shot, that they wouldn't immediately jump to outrage, this is some racist shenanigans. It would be, well, I wonder what all happened. And that is the wrong response.
That's not the response. It's not the answer.
This is also a year of reflection, of silence and reflection that I've been running from. When you have a lot of trauma you don't want to process, you avoid silence and you are afraid to open up to meditation and things like that because you're like, what happens if all of my feelings come flooding out and I can't stuff them back in? I'm not allowed to have feelings because a Black woman having feelings is a scary, ratchet mess, according to other people, not just a human having feelings.
This week on The Come Up, you'll hear a chat with me and Broadway producer, four-time Tony Award winner, Ron Simons. Oh. Wow. Hello, people of the world and the Come Up universe. It's me, Nick, and this is The Come Up. Hi, how's everybody doing? Did everybody have a terrible week? Just kidding. It's been okay. You know, the hits keep coming, but so do we. We just got to keep on moving. We got to keep on pushing. We got to keep on doing what we know we can do because that is all we got. All we got is each other. And so, yes, I thank you all so much for being here. I'm excited that you're here tonight. It's a really good show. We have a lot going on, actually, and I have some things to show you and whatnot. So I'm just going to hop right in. I want to start by showing you something that I am so proud of. It's our brand new website, the comeupwithnickwhitcomb.com. It's a long title, but that probably means you won't forget it. You can head on here. You can see all the things. You can see about hot takes, figure out how to get that, learn about all the people that come and talk with me. You can listen to every single podcast episode on the website page. You can also check out the Come Up TLDR. We have a lot of video footage there. It might take some time to load, but it's there, I promise. There's also an About page that'll show you all about the show, where you can see it, when you can see it, all the places that you can catch the show. And you can also learn a little bit about me on this page here. I'm super excited about it. It looks really nice. I've spent probably far too much time on it. But yes, please head on over to the website, thecomeupwithnickwhitcomb.com. There it is for you to look at and check it out. Yeah, that's the tweet. Check out the website. It's super cool. All right. Okay, like I said, we have a lot going on today, and it starts with Ron Simons, so I'm going to start there. Ron Simons is the only Black producer to have multiple Tony Awards, 4 of them. He has 4 Tony Awards, a number of other nominations. We had a really great chat about his work and why it's important that he does his work. We talked about something that I talk about often, which is pipelining. We always talk about getting people behind the desk and all that stuff, but how do we do that? Ron did not have all the answers. I tried to get them. I did. But he did have some good ones. So I'm super excited for you to hear this chat with me and Broadway producer Ron Simons. Enjoy.
Thank you for being here. I'm super grateful that you want to chat with me. I think that your work is amazing, and I think that a lot of times when we hear like producer, people don't really know what that means.
No, they don't. I didn't know what it meant before I became a producer.
Well, how did that happen? What was your journey to producing things?
Well, I was and still am an actor. And then during my acting career, I think I'd been out of school for about 8 years, and I was becoming disenchanted with the kind of roles that I was being sent in for.
I did. But he did have some good ones. So I'm a lot of times when we hear like producer, people don't really know what that means.
No, they don't. I didn't know what it meant before I became a producer.
Well, how did that happen? What was your journey to
producer can do media? Well, I was and still am an actor. And then during my acting career, I think I've been out of school for about 8 years. I was becoming disenchanted with the kind of roles that I was being sent in.
I did. But he did have some good ones. So
bring projects my way, and I thought I was going to do a play first, and then as it turns out, I ended up doing a feature film first, which became Night Catches Us with Anthony Mackie and Kerry Washington and Wilbur Pierce. So, and that was a heralding experience. When I was done with that, I'm like, okay, that's it. I'm done. I'm not producing anything else. This is far too hard. I'm not having it. I'm going to go back to acting. And then I met a friend. He was at school. He had a master's thesis. I read it. I was like, oh my God, I got to tell this story. And I was right back in it.
Yeah, it kind of gets you like that.
It does.
Never-ending cycle.
I catch us with
trappery. Because making art is great.
It is, and I'm a storyteller, so I find great story, and I'm like, okay, I feel entitled to not this talent. This is fun.
Well, your path to your artistic life is kind of different, or not what people would see. Journey of like, I did this when I was a kid, and then I went to school for this, and now I'm in the. So, talking a little bit about your initial background and then how you kind of shifted that to making an artistic life.
Well, so when I was in high school, I got bitten by the acting bug. I understand. Because I had joined the drama club called Harlequins when I was at the University of Detroit High School and Academy. And I really found that I loved acting. And then when I went to college, to come to New York, I found that there were two things that I could stay up all night doing. One was theater or plays, and the other was computer sciences. I love programming computers. So I ended up having a double focus in both, information systems, which today is computer science, and English, most of which were theater arts. And then when I graduated, I had started an application to the Yale School of Drama, and I had been interviewing for tons of corporate jobs, software development engineer. Long story short, I decided to become an engineer, and I went into technology, writing software for a number of years. I finally said, you know what? After I got an MBA, started back in corporate America, I said, you know what? I still want to act. I can't die without having given it a try. I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, I should have, oh, I would have, oh, I could have. No, do it. If you fail, whatever. If you succeed, great. And so then I started acting. I got a degree in acting, came to New York, started acting. And then in 2009, I just started producing because I wanted to see a better quality product. And I've been acting and producing ever since.
Amazing. So how hands-on are you in the creative process of making the piece? I think so. I've been a producer for like smaller houses, and I've produced and seen producing happen at like a larger theatrical house. But you're producing like individual projects. So what does that kind of? What's the difference in producing for like an entity and then like producing as an individual doing a film or a show?
Well, okay, that's a very good question, actually. I'm going to focus on Broadway for the sake of argument. On Broadway, there are two classes of producers. There's the lead producer at the top. So if you open your playbill, there's going to be 1, 2, or 3 names at the top above title. And there's going to be this block of names, which are below them, which are called co-producers. And for most of my career, I've been a co-producer, which is to say that I bring money to the table, and then I am part of a consulting team of all the co-producers that the lead producers present what we're doing for the advertising and marketing campaigns and promotion and sponsorship and social media and all of those things. But at the end of the day, it's not the co-producers who make the decision, it's the lead producers. So this year, for the first time, after 10 years in the business, I've become a lead producer. And I've become a lead producer, not on one, not on two, not on three, but on 4 shows in the same year, because, well, I just love punishment. And I will say that lead producers are the people who get everything done. They do the heavy lifting. They have to option the product. They have to find, the support staff to make it happen, which is to say, the attorneys. They have to hire advertising, marketing campaigns, press, PR, social media. You have to hire the cast. You have to find the theater. You have to work with and find the crew and bring all that together. So as a lead producer, it's a lot of work because everything stops at your desk. So if no one else takes care of it, then you have to take care of it. So it's a lot of responsibility, but at the same time, it's a lot of control, and you get to express your creativity through the work that you're doing. And because I'm an actor and a storyteller, for me, the creative side is the most important thing. Yes, I can read a spreadsheet. Yes, I can look at some numbers. Yes, I can interpret it. But that's not what gets me up in the morning. What gets me up in the morning is great storytelling. So I often focus, as certainly a lead producer or any project that I'm developing, helping to get that piece to its best self so that we can put it on Broadway or off Broadway or in a regional theater. So that's what gets me going as a storyteller, is the creative side. Some other people are good about, they can deliver the show on time, on budget, and it's great, but they may not have a clear appreciation for the storytelling and how and what a story needs to take it to the next level.
So what's that thing for you? What do you think is the thing that a story needs to get it to the next level of production?
Oh, it depends. It depends on the story. I mean, sometimes it needs, it needs a story arc that that it's just too shallow. It just goes from here to here and it's not particularly interesting. Whereas, a more steep curve from beginning to end can, make it more engaging, make it more interesting, make it more exciting. Sometimes it has to do with the vernacular of the characters. The voices are not clear and they're not distinct enough, so they kind of mush together. Sometimes it has to do with pacing. You spend, for example, one of my shows, it's a musical, like the first 15 minutes was just pretty much a monologue. Well, in a musical, if 15 minutes have gone by and you haven't sung a single song, Houston, we have a problem, right? So you have to go in and, okay, so this is the problem, working with the creatives, how do we fix that? Where and when do we introduce a song, and how much of a monologue can be held without losing the pacing of the show and losing the attention of the audience. So it differs by product and by project. It's never the same thing for every show. It just really depends.
Yeah. Well, and you've worked on some pretty incredible projects. Ain't Too Proud, Porgy and Bess, Vanya, Sonia, and Masha and Spike. Actually, you worked on a show that I got my first legal drink at. So I turned 21 when I was in New York, which was fantastic. And I went to Gentleman's Guide to Love and Press. And my friend was like, I'm going to get you a drink at the show because it's legal now. And I was like, yeah. And so she got me a drink. And it was funny. She came back and she was like, I tried to get the show drink, but they were only having it like serving it on the main floor. So I just asked for alcohol to get something. So why were they only serving it on the main floor? I expect you to have the answer to that.
Actually, I have absolutely no idea why they were serving it only on the main floor. I didn't even know that was the case. So I can't help you, bro. I can't help you. There's nothing I can say.
Oh, man. So now that you are kind of in this place where you're leading on more projects, what do you look for in a project initially to be like, I'm going to put my name on that as co-producer or lead producer? Like, what does it have to have?
Question. Well, first it has to be a good story, because if it's not a great story, then it's not worth putting my time and energy and effort into. But having a great story doesn't mean that it's going to be presented and be the best that it could be. There's a lot of stops along the way. But once I just determined that it is in fact a great story, then there are three things that I look for in a project. One, that it is about underrepresented communities, and not to say that I only do those shows, but predominantly those are the kinds of shows that I do. A Gentleman's Guide was clearly not one of them. But I saw that show and I thought, this is a great piece of theater. This is fun, funny, engaging songs that want to put your feet to.
It was a great musical, and sometimes we need a great musical as well.
That's right. And so that's why I went on that. But in terms of the three, it has to be about underrepresented communities. It has to have high artistic integrity, which is to say that the people who are working on it are going to make it the best that it can be. And it has to be commercially viable. And so that's the tripod on which I assess every project. And if I can find a project where all three are present, then I jumps on it. I get on it and say, okay, now I'm willing to put my name on it and work for the next 2, 3, 4, 5, whatever many years it's going to take to bring that story to pass.
Yeah, I love that you said years. I feel like that's the piece of creation that I feel like people either don't know about or aren't don't want to accept. Is I'm I've worked on a lot of new musicals in smaller situations, and I'm like, folks, this is a long, we're trying to run right now, and we need to start with the crawl. So
I tell people all the time, I said, producing for Broadway is not a sprint. It is a long distance run. And if you're doing a musical, it's even longer than if you're doing a play. Because if you're doing a play, you can start with a writer and a director and you can go a long way. But of course, if you have a musical, you have to have a writer who's doing the book writer. Then you have to have the composer who's composing the music. Then you have a lyricist who's doing the lyrics. Sometimes they can overlap. And then you have the director. And then you have to try all these songs out, and which ones work, which ones don't, which one move the story forward, which ones don't move the story forward. What order do they need to go in? Is this consistent with what the book is saying? It just takes years longer to create a musical because of that.
Yeah. So you are the only Black producer to have 4 Tony Awards and 5 nominations.
That's true.
How do we get more of us in those rooms? What do you think is how do we successfully? I've been talking to a lot of people in this current moment about pipelining. They're we keep talking about what we didn't do, or you're going through all these racial bias trainings and having these conversations, but no one's talking about creating a pipeline. No one's talking about how do we actually pull those folks up and not only teaching these skills, but provide them space to learn and grow in them. So not that you have to solve all the world's problems right now, but what can a pipeline structure look like to you in any, I guess, theatrical capacity or entertainment capacity, but primarily as a producer? Because I feel like that's a real place of power, and I think that there needs to be more of us in those spaces to help create the stuff we need to see.
I totally agree. I can tell you what I do. A big part of my effort, because as important as the storytelling of diverse communities is the diversity of the industry. So I mentor. I have 5 Black women who I'm mentoring to be producers on Broadway. And if they all become producers, they will almost double the number of Black producers on Broadway. And I'm just one guy. I mean, imagine if another money, it's going to take time because one has to develop as a producer. But if we start now, then I know that I will have these co-producers be ready to take on a leadership role in 1 show or 2 shows or in 3 shows. So that's the pipeline. Another thing that we can do as producers is that we can go and find investors in communities of color. Because investors in communities of color, if they really love the business, they will become co-producers, of shows. And then you're a producer. And then if you really love that, then you may become a lead producer, as I have done for shows. And now you're in the driver's seat. You are part of the gatekeepers that decide what actually gets seen on Broadway and what actually does not get seen. Now, there's another gatekeeper, which is, of course, the theater owner, because you can have the best piece of property on the planet, in your opinion, but if no theater owner gives you a theater, then, okay, sorry. Plan B is what? Do we take it on tour? Do we license it? What do we do? Or do we keep at it? We're just going to keep at it, and we're going to get a theater. What is it that you need to do? And that's part of the producing, the learning to be a producer. To know if the property is in fact as commercial as you thought it was at the beginning. Do you know what I mean?
For sure.
So between those two things, I think they would go a long way toward getting more people into the power seats of being producers. I know that there are organizations like the Broadway League, where they have a diversity and inclusion committee, where they are bringing, people in to work in general managers' offices, sometimes in large producers' offices. But the thing that's challenging about Broadway and producing is the vast majority of Broadway producers are independent, which is to say they are one person. They may or may not even have an assistant, right? And I am in that camp. It's me and my assistant, and occasionally I'll bring someone on to help with different aspects of the business. We're not like Scott Rudin or Kevin McCullum, who have an office in a beautiful space with, I don't know, a dozen or more people who are doing different things within the organization. The vast majority of people are people like me. And so that makes for a bit of a challenge, because we're always trying to optimize our income, right? And put a ceiling on our costs so that we can have enough money to launch the next show that's coming down the pipe.
Sure. I mean? Yeah, for sure. So you have projects coming up for next year.
I do.
What does that even mean?
Right? What does that mean then? Listen, very good question, because honestly, we don't know what that means, because people ask me all the time, so when do you think Broadway is going to reopen? I'm like, well, if I could tell you that, I would also go and buy lottery tickets, and I would have millions of dollars. Because because my balls are not crystal. So I can't look into the future and see what the future holds, and no one can. You can plan for them opening in the spring, which is what we're doing. We're planning for Broadway to open in the spring. But who knows? How no one can be sure that people will be comfortable enough to go into a Broadway theater and sit down with 700 people they don't know and watch a show.
Yeah.
You don't know. Will there be a cure? Will there be a vaccine? Those are very important details that could have a huge impact on how things return to the new normal, as we like to say. So all we can do is plan for having our shows ready to go when we think the shows are going to start. Right now, we're planning for the spring, but it may be the summer. It may, in fact, be the fall. But we don't want to be caught with our pants down, so we have to make sure that we have, the key art done. So we've got understanding what we're doing from a marketing point of view. We've got to get all the websites and the names on the social media handles, and we've got to start thinking about press. We're doing casting. Who is going to actually be in the show and who might be available, which is its own challenge, because the agents don't know when their clients are going to be shooting a film or TV show or. We don't know. They don't know. They can say that, yes, this is going to be a priority, but at the end of the day, especially with talent, if you're a hot agent or a hot actor, you can say, I wanted to go do this independent film, but if this big budget Marvel film knocks on your door and says, we want you to be in this, that represents a huge increase in the amount of money that you can make. And who wants to deny an actor, the ability to make more money? Sure. I don't want to. But the point is that we can plan. And so we're doing a lot of planning right now. And this is what we're going to do when we reopen. When that happens remains to be seen. But when it happens, we'll be ready.
Yeah. Okay, I have one more question.
Mm-hmm.
So we've talked about putting folks of color backstage, talked about telling stories about disenfranchised populations. What ways, or how are we getting those folks to see our work? How do we then get those people in that need to be in the audience to see that sort of representation? Or
tell me who the people are that you're talking about. Help me understand.
Yeah. So I think right now our audience is across the board, Broadway, regional, small Chicago storefront, are all predominantly white folks, old, young, just white. So what? And I've always wondered, like, and this is a question for me too. Like, how do we get people that need to see art, that feel like they've been pushed out of the story making process, that feel like they're not invited to these massive buildings that can feel intimidating, or these tight communities that seem exclusive? How do we open that door? How do we invite folks of color? How do we invite folks that can't afford a typical Broadway ticket or even a TKTS ticket? Like, what is that? How do we make that pipeline, I guess, as well, for shifting the audience structure as well as the internal structure?
Well, number one, we have to invite the people. And there's nothing like people seeing themselves on stage as an implicit invitation to come see a show. When P. Diddy did Raisin in the Sun on Broadway, I'd never seen that many Black people in the audience. And why were there so many Black people in the audience? Because there were so many Black people on stage. And this was an African-American story written by an African-American woman, directed by an African-American man, starring African-American actors. We will come out and see our stories. We just have to know that our stories are being presented. So if you are one of these regional theaters, or you're producing Broadway shows and you do very few, if any, shows of color, you should not be surprised that Black people are not, in general, going to come see your show, because you're not inviting them. You're not saying, come and see a show that you can relate to because you can see yourself on stage. So that's the first thing. Telling the stories about those communities will be an implicit invitation. The second thing is that I actually buck up against this idea of, Black people don't have the money to go see Broadway shows. And while that is true, there is a certain sector of the population that does not have that. But then I also tell people, do you know how much tickets cost to see Beyonce? And these 21-year-olds have no problem dropping $400 to see old girl, okay? They will get on a train or a plane or an automobile and go to another city, as I did, out to Oklahoma or wherever the hell she was, and I went to Arizona, and we'll drop those coins. If it's something that we want to do, if we feel that it is something that we would appreciate and we would enjoy. So it's not always about, they don't have enough money. But at the same time, I'm always cognizant of the fact that I want to be as inclusive as possible. So one of the things that I always do is for new product that is about the African American community, I will try to front load the show with tickets that are discounted during the preview process, because during previews, ticket prices are always lower than once they open. Right. So I really want to make sure that I get out to all the Black affinity groups, whether the Black barbers, the Black hairdressers, the Black nail salons, Jack and Jill. I mean, everyone who is a person of color, and say, now you get to see this show for $49 or $59. These shows that will be $120 if you wait until later. You can see this show today for less than half of that. Right. So it's about inviting the people at the right time, because if you have enough money to pay full price for a ticket, you may not be compelled to have to go to previews, right? But if you know that you can see this show that is about you and your community for $49, which is, I mean, honestly, by the time you buy tickets to a movie, this is in New York, it's $20, and you can buy the popcorn, you buy the soda, you don't spend $49.
$49, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
At least.
It's the least, right? Yeah. So that's where they make all their money. So if I can offer you a ticket and a chance to see a show for the same price that it would take for you to go watch a movie, then I feel like I just need to let you know that this price is available so that you can take advantage of it. So that's how we increase and diversify the audiences.
And I love what you just said, and this is something else I've been saying to folks, is like, on the ground. You have to get on the ground. We have to go into the communities. I'm like I said earlier, I'm from Omaha, Nebraska, and I told the theaters there, I was like, if you haven't gone down Lake Street, which is on the north side, which is where all the black folks live, and knocked on all the church doors, then you've not done community outreach. You haven't done the work. You have to get into the community because we're communal people, and if we don't see your face and know who you are, we ain't coming to your house.
It's true though. I mean, with my shows, we go out to all the mega churches with all the black pastors, and we either take the director or some actors or producers, whoever, and we go out and say, "Hey, everybody, look at this. We got stories for you, that are about you. You should come and see them." But if we're not there in those churches, if we're not in those barbershops, if we're not putting signs in the hair salons or nail salons, well then we shouldn't be surprised when people go, "Oh no, I didn't hear anything about that," right? Because in general, for example, most all producers will do something in the New York Times. Well, the fact of the matter is, a lot of black people do not even read the New York Times, right? They are more likely to read Ebony, or whatever the publication is that is part of their demographic. Maybe it's some hip hop magazine or whatever. But the point is that you have to go to where the people are. You can't say, oh, we're going to wait for them to come to us. No, if you really want them, you will go to them, meet them where they are, where they read, where they serve, where they work, where they get their hair done, and you will say, "Hey, this is a story that you should want to see. Come check it out."
You heard it here first, folks. Ron just told us how to fix it. And this is it's right, just do it. Just do it. Ron Simons, everybody. Thank you so much. It was so great to chat with you.
You too.
I appreciate your time and keep, doing the work, doing the thing.
That's all I can do, brother. That's all I can do.
Yes, Ron Simons. That was amazing. Isn't he great? He's super dope. He was super cool. I appreciate him so much for chatting with me. That was an awesome time. Thank you for bearing with the technical issues. Listen, we are always trying here on the Come Up. We're going to make it happen. Like I said, we have a lot going on today. I'm super excited. Backstage, Little Sisters Treats. They showed up during the interview. They just decided to pop on by. Just kidding. We planned this. We absolutely did. But they're amazing. Zaire and Charlie, they own a company. They make sweets. Look at this, y'all. Look at that. That looks delicious. I don't know if that's one of the cheesecake cones, but I'm gonna need them to send me one of those because that sounds delicious. Here they come, my friends, Little Sisters Treats. Hi.
Hi.
How are you?
Good.
Thank you for being here. I'm sorry that you have to share the little camera together. It's gonna be great though.
Yeah.
Okay, introduce yourselves. One at a time.
I'm Zaire and I'm 11 years old.
I'm Charlize and I'm not 9 anymore, 10 years old.
Did you have a birthday recently? Is that what happened?
Yeah, 3 days ago.
Oh, that's a new birthday. Happy birthday. That's
Thank
our
you.
first birthday of the Come Up besides mine. So that's special. That's a special thing. I didn't even know. That's amazing. So why did you two want to start your own company, your own treats company?
Well, when I was 4 years old, I wanted to start my own ice cream business. And then I wrote down orders and prices on a piece of paper. I showed them to my mom, and then she told me that, okay, we'll make this come true. She made it come true a few years later. Then it happened.
I love that. I love that so much. So Zaire, when your sister was like, "We're gonna do this thing," were you like, "Yes"?
Yeah, I was actually really excited to do it because sometimes through the pandemic you have nothing to do, and so I wanted to join in on that. And yeah.
That's amazing. I love it. And you guys actually, there's another company called Sugar Sisters Treat, right? Did I get that right?
Oh yeah.
And what about Sugar Sisters? What did they do for you? Tell us about that.
They gave us over $1,000 for our company, and they have donated it for us personally, and we were really happy about that. And I really wanted to say thank you to them, and I never got a chance to, so I wanted to say thank you now.
Right here on the come up. Yes. We're gonna have to send that to him. That's special. So Zaire, why was it important to you to start your own company? Like, I know you want to sell treats, but why do you think it's important for you to start a company right now?
For us to start a company right now is actually really good, because starting a company now is like because we want to make money to, like, it makes money to make money.
It takes money to make money.
So you agree with that? You agree with what Zaire says?
Yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Well, listen, I just wanted to lift you all up and say that you are amazing. I am so excited for what you're doing. Wait, is your mom there? Is she there to say hi? Hey! Marina!
I don't know if you can see me. Yes, girl.
We can see you. We see you. We can see you. We can see. Scoot in. Okay, we got you. Scoot in. A little more. Y'all know y'all mama like the camera. Stop playing. Y'all better give her the camera.
Okay, Nick. Yes, come through, Sister Act.
Yeah, so Marina and I met doing Sister Act in Quincy, Illinois.
Yes.
I knew that you'd be mad if I didn't bring you on, so I wanted you to say hi too.
You know, I don't have to be. I always say I don't want to be on. My girls are doing great things, and I'm
amazing.
Inspired by them. So let them do and live. But let me tell you, honey, I miss you.
I miss you too so much. When they said they wanted to do this, what you just said yes, and you made it happen. And why was it important for you to make this happen for them?
Nick, let me tell you something. I know you always post about your great mother. And so for me to give my kids a yes, because you know, in our houses, especially these Black houses,
Huh?
it's a no, get out my kitchen, don't burn up, stop, ain't having it, no way type situation, okay? But what kind of mom would I be to say that when all they want to do is start a business?
Yeah.
All they want to do is be productive and learn and cook and inspire other young girls to be their own CEO. What kind of person would I be? And
Yes.
so because of that reason, and because these girls actually can cook,
It
she
looks
fried
delicious.
potatoes and onions the other day, okay? Yes, she did. So because they can actually cook, I'm just like, go ahead, have at it, do your best, do what you can. And then God just showed up and showed out, and the girls are just running away with it. Did they show you their treats?
Oh no, we were about to get to it.
Oh, 'cause I was like, I'm look, it's the school night. I'm in there making lasagna.
Listen, go make your lasagna, and we're gonna look at the treats.
You're getting a real live situation. But Nick, thank you so much for having the girls on. I
Of
so appreciate
course.
you.
I
This
appreciate
is
y'all.
amazing. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan. Are you kidding me? I'm a fan. I didn't even know y'all live Quincy. We have some catching up to do, but you gonna make your
Yes.
lasagna. We gonna look at these streets and hear from the
Yes,
babies.
here's the girl. Scoot over, girls. Get in there.
So, what did you bring to show us today? What treats do you have?
We brought our cheesecake cones. Yes.
Oh my goodness. A cheesecake cone. Okay, explain that to me. Wait, scoot it back over. Back over a little more. There you go. Okay, explain this to me. How do you make a cheesecake cone?
So first we get the cone,
Uh-huh.
because
Yes.
you know it's cheesecake cone.
Either cone, a mini cone, a big cone.
Uh-huh.
So today
That's
we
perfect.
have a mini cone. Oh,
Yeah.
Is that good?
Oh, scoot over a little more other way. Oh, no, don't turn the camera. There you go. That's perfect. I always forget people don't see what I see. This is hilarious.
This is our mint cone. Meant to be, because it's, you know,
Sing it, Zaire.
it was meant to be.
Wait, Zaire. Wait, you have to do that one more time. You scoot a little to the right.
Hold on, let me try.
Wait,
It
which way
was
is the
meant to
right?
be.
The left. Oh, not the. Oh, there we go. Wait, Lord. Okay, perfect. Right there. Keep it right there. Okay, good. Sing it one more time. Sing it again. Sing it again.
It was meant to be, it'll be, baby, just let it be.
All right. Don't sing much more because they're going to sue us. They're going to sue us. We don't got the rights to that song.
Billy.
I'm just saying they ain't watching. They ain't watching. No. Y'all are funny. Don't listen to me. Listen, your mama will tell you that I ain't got no sense. That's amazing.
Oh my God.
Did you bring any other treats? Is it just the cheesecake cone?
Oh, and we have our new cone.
A new cone?
Oh, not this. That one though. This
Yes.
one's our Halloween cone.
Right.
Wait, say it one more time.
This one's our Halloween cone.
We don't have the name yet.
It just came out.
Like a movie.
Do you want me to pick it up or no?
Sure. Let's see it. Let's see the details. Oh, yes. The colors. We love it. It's got teeth. We love a cone with teeth. Yes. I love it. Oh, candy corn. I love candy corn. So are y'all a candy corn house? Do y'all like candy corn?
Yes.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I like candy corn.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Oh, and we have our apple. Yes. Yes. Hunty.
Yes, Hunty Apple.
Hunty.
With the fur. Hey, listen, don't get me going. Wow, that looks delicious. Is that caramel?
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Oh, my goodness. Well, listen.
Mint cone?
Oh. So do y'all deliver?
Yes, we do. We do deliver.
That is good. I did not know
But
that.
we do not ship. But
No
we do
shipping.
not ship.
Okay,
Not
well,
yet.
okay, that's fine. That's a good detail, though. Thank you for clarifying because I was like, I'll put my order in tonight. Well, listen, I am so thankful that y'all stopped by the show and bared with all the technical issues to show your beautiful cones. I'm so excited that you got to be
Oh,
on.
and we have a new jingle.
You have a jingle.
Yeah.
Sing it.
Sisters, we've got the cones. Whenever you eat them, you got soul. Ooh, yeah.
Yes! I wish I had an audience for moments like this right now. Wow,
Yes,
y'all,
sir.
that was beautiful. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate your
Thank
time.
you.
Thank you for showing your treats. Thank you for singing. They do everything. Zaire and Charlize, everyone. I'm going to close this thing out. I'll see you on the other side. Bye, friends.
Bye. Bye.
Wow. People, this was quite the show. There was a lot going on, but we made it, folks. We made it, and I'm so excited that you were here to witness it. I'm so happy that Little Sister Streets came on to show us their stuff. Check them out, Little Sister Streets. If you are not in Colorado, they will not send you anything. So I'm sorry about that, but you should still support them because they are amazing and they are young Black entrepreneurs, and that is important. We need to support that. Yes, 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 yes. That's the tweet. Okay, I am so excited to say thank you to all my sponsors. Thanks for being here. Thanks for that. I appreciate you. And now there are your names. People, I am happy you were here. I'm excited about next week. We got the takeover coming up with me and Dahlia Kinsey. It's going to be an amazing time. Jamila's going to be our first guest, and then we're going to bring it in with Ricardo on Thursday. That means 2 episodes of the come up next week. So get yourself ready because here we come. All right. See you next time.